Hi friends, it's been quite a while since I last uploaded again, sorry, but I've just come off the coattails of my very first convention as an artist. Hello Momo is here. I recorded it's about an hour of footage, but I'm gonna cut it down quite a bit, of myself talking about my experience at Toronto Game Expo 2026. That was my first con. It's a new bi-yearly convention held around the C&E Fairgrounds around Exhibition Place in Toronto. I spoke at length about my experience at the convention, how I did, what I made for the convention, but I won't have any con prep or anything like that. I did record some con prep, but there just wasn't really enough of it to make a con prepping video. So the video is primarily going to focus on my retelling of that. And I do just want to give a forewarning. In the video, it's going to come off a little bit awkward because I kind of did a double header and I talked both about launching my online shop to begin with back last year and also my first con. Why are you winking? Why'd you wink at me? So when I switched to the con experience, it's a little bit stilted because I was recording it as if I came from that and it was going to be one big video, but then I ended up talking for 50 minutes. So yeah, it might not end up being in the full video depending on how much I cut. So I do just want to talk about that really quickly, and I do want to also say I'm very sorry. My little mic was not actually working the entire time that I recorded. I don't even think it was working for the first bit about my shop. I'm really not sure when it stopped working, but during the entire con process of me talking about my experience, there was no audio coming in from this mic. It did pick up my phone audio, and it also picked up the internal audio from my old camera. But yeah, so we're going to talk about my con experience. I just want to put a big apology out on the audio, but I reasonably cannot re-record this video. It's just too much, and unfortunately we're just gonna have to deal with it. Sometimes you just gotta get something out and you just have to make it, and you just gotta move on. And there's a lot that I needed to address in that video, and just in order to get things going, because I have a lot to do, we're just gonna have to roll with it. But while editing the video, I realized that I needed to make a proper intro, so here it is. I'm sorry for the long intro, and I hope you really enjoy it. And in lieu of my outro, I do want to give a big thank you to everyone that supported me at Toronto Game Expo. I don't feel like I really talked about that. Not that I wasn't coming across as very grateful, but I want to put it out there. I had a very successful time at Toronto Game Expo, not just with the sales, but the people that I met. I feel like my life has maybe a little bit more promise than I thought it did. Things have just only gotten grimmer with my industry and my adjacent industry that I worked in and I'm still working part-time in is still not doing well. It's just looking bad. There's a lot of life stuff. I'm getting into a bit of a tough situation because both my parents want to leave and things are just kind of looking scary for me. So Toronto Game Expo doing well genuinely, I think, made me feel like I have a second chance at literally anything, literally just life. As long as I can take control of that and continue moving forward, continue meeting new people, and continue doing my best, I think there's maybe a hope for me in the future. So thank you very much to everyone that supported my booth, that came and talked to me, that shared anything that I made. It really truly means the world to me, and I'm so grateful. So anyway, I hope you enjoy my very long talk about my experience on my first con, and I hope that's just indicative of more to come in the future. And hopefully next time my mic won't cut out. Peace out everyone, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye! Okay, now we're gonna talk about Toronto Game Expo and my first ever convention. These are where the predominant amount of my sales are going to be because of my low following, and it went very well. I will just say off the start. So I have a notebook of everything that I want to talk about. This is my first ever convention. Yippee! But not really my first booth. My first booth was actually at Toronto 2026. It was our first ever competitive tournament held in Toronto, or in Canada largely. It is a qualifier for LCS. I boothed there for one day because the tournament was only one day, and it was about like 5 to 6 hours, I want to say. But I will say that I was also competing in Toronto, so during that time my booth partner Pixel, she covered my booth for me the same way that I covered the booth for her during her sets. Toronto Game Expo is a relatively new convention in Toronto. Toronto typically has quite a few major conventions. I'd say our biggest one is definitely Anime North. We also have Toronto Comic Con, we have Toronto Fan Expo. There's Pretty Heroes, there's now Revo, which is a Vancouver anime convention that's now come to Toronto. But there's some pretty major and many events in Toronto, and now we have Toronto Game Expo. And Toronto Game Expo runs 2 times a year, in the winter and in the spring. I think they started in like 2023, 2024. Definitely not one of their first cons in 2026 this year, but they're still relatively new to the scene. A friend of mine, Slugtrain, vended there, but didn't seem too impressed, didn't get a whole lot of sales. So I went into TGE very cautiously. I knew that there was a chance that I wouldn't make any money. There's a chance that I could lose money, like I wouldn't even make even. But I did know that I would experience so much more than what money was worth there, and I was willing to do that. I got really burnt out after launching my business, so I didn't make a single merch design. Oh, sorry, I never actually explained when Toronto was. Toronto took place on January 31st. So all of January was doing Toronto Roca, and then it was time to prep for Toronto Game Expo. But a lot of the things, including everything that I made for Toronto Roca, ended up coming with me to Toronto Game Expo. After I met Pixel through Squid Social in Toronto Roca, I asked if she wanted to booth with me at Toronto Game Expo. She said yes, so that's how we did that. We applied, got in, and since Toronto Game Expo is a gaming convention, it is literally Toronto Game Expo, I wanted to focus on games. I have a wide variety of interests. Games, animation, figures, a lot of things like that. So making, game fan art, not a big ask for me. And I just came from the Splatoon tournament with Splatoon merch, which is a video game. So I already had some ready to go. But because I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Legends ZA, and I really like it, I was like, well, I want to make some ZA merch. I figured I would do decently. That did not end up being the case. Literally every single thing that I made for Toronto Game Expo sold like 10 times more than anything ZA related, which really sucks because I made more ZA merch than anything else. Not just like the quantity that I brought of each particular product was the same, but like the availability of the merch designs. So let's actually get into the merch designs that I do have. I'm gonna start with my business card because I'm really proud of my business card. Ta-da! One side, other side. Decent matte cardstock. Has a little bit of a shine to it, but it won't take away. Not too glossy. It has my online shop on it, my YouTube, my Instagram, my Blue Sky, and my VGen. These are the platforms that I use the most often, and my tagline of being a 2D and 3D artist. Cool. Here's all the stickers that I made. Die cuts. So, these are the designs that I made for Toronto Roca, which I then kind of polished up for Toronto Game Expo. So I have Agent 8 in the Ecosphere. Get her out. An Inkling praying for their life on the tower. Number 1 tower rider. Literally everything is on their ass. Got the green default squid killing the other default squid. The Splatoon characters are in Mario Kart and I still find it really funny. And then classic Trizuka meta. Me on my way to get you. This was actually based on a drawing that I made way back for fun, I think 3 years ago, and I polished it up and I made it a sticker. Next up is these My Little Pony stickers that I made. So you'd think, why the fuck are you making My Little Pony stickers for Toronto Game Expo? And you're like, yeah, you're right. But I had these 2 paintings done that people really liked way back last year in 2025. And I had also previously printed those 2 paintings and I thought they looked really good. So I was like, well, I can just do the whole set. I only have to do 4 more. And ponies are really easy to draw when you have drawn them for 6 years straight. So it's not bad. I did them all in one day. So I got Pinkie Pie. I went with the winter wrap up sort of thing. Twilight. Fluttershy. This was the first one that I made last year. Applejack. Rainbow Dash. And Rarity. This was the second one that I made. These sold incredibly well. The MOP girlies were out. Then I have these stickers that I launched my business with. So I have Stalking, both palettes of Felicia from Darkstalkers. I got Maka, the Queen, And Marie Rose from Dead or Alive, not her default costume, but one that I find cute and I want the figure of. Those sold decent, which was nice. They didn't really sell at first, I would get intermittent sales. And then TADC episode 8 came out right before the con. I love Digital Circus. I've been watching it since the pilot came out. Day oneer. I'm a day oneer, bro. Something that I really, really love about the Digital Circus is the character models that they have and the alternate character models of each character. So each episode they usually get a different outfit. Gangle Manager Gangle, firing someone over her adorable pink flip phone. Spudsy's Jax, there's actually that like stupid hand behind him. Katie Kinger, low-key because he doesn't really get that many outfits. Beat Dragatha. I also included the sun because I thought that was fun. Sling and Zooble, I really didn't want to draw all the guns, so I drew her flipping their guns instead. And of course my queen, Anime Palmy. I love her very much. The TADC one sold exceptionally well. I was very surprised at the amount of circus fans that were there. It was really cool. You're gonna get all the ZA merch now. So I made these donut designs. These are paintings that I made. These are paintings that I made for acrylic charms, and I also made them into a sticker sheet. But then when I was making one of the sticker sheets, my cutter just decided to do a die cut, so I just have these on hand. So this is Urbane, Lita, Naveen, and this is my ZA protagonist, Jen. No, I'm not including Harmony. That's too bad. And then I just did regular stickers. These were initially supposed to be painted as well. I have something to say about that. Urbane, Lita, Naveen, and then Jen again. Still not drawing Harmony. Like my OC or perish. So those are all of the individual merch designs for stickers, and then I also have the sticker sheet version of this. This is a B grade. There's a very small laminating error that actually doesn't affect any of the stickers. It's just on the backing. So I had one sticker sheet design available, and I have a lot to say about these charms. They weren't supposed to turn out like this. They were supposed to be 2.5 inches, double-sided, same design, one single side of acrylic. Here's Lita. You can see she's very thick, and you can see that the art is in the middle, but pressed between two pieces of acrylic. Typically, you're going to see one major piece of acrylic, and the artwork is kind of sandwiched in between 3/4 of that piece of acrylic. Then we have Urbane, Naveen, and Jen again. I ended up having to go with a Canadian supplier manufacturer for these charms because all the Chinese menus are still super backed up from the new year. So I had to kind of downgrade a little bit, and they didn't turn out the way that I wanted at all, and they did not sell well at all. I don't have my prints on me because I didn't feel like dragging them from upstairs from the office, but I will put them on screen. Squid Sisters print, both in medium and in small. I have my Off the Hook print, both medium and small, and Deep Cut print, both medium and small. These are prints that I made for Toronto Roca, and it features the idols around downtown Toronto. If you can recognize these, only one person got all 3 of them. Squid Sisters are on the 506 Spadina streetcar around Kensington. Off the Hook is in front of the CN Tower steps by the Rogers Centre, the Sky Dome. And Deep Cut is in front of the Toronto sign at Nathan Phillips Square. Yeah, so I made ZA stickers, die cuts, one sticker sheet, charms, and the initial designs for the non-donut stickers were actually made into prints because I painted them too hard. Sorry, got really into it. So let's put those on screen. I have Urbane and Meowstick. I have Lita and Starmie. I have Naveen and Scrappy. And I have Jen and Moile. Give it up. I spent 2 days on all these prints and I screwed myself. All the merch that I had for Toronto Roca, and I freshened up the stickers, and I also freshened up my launch designs. So essentially about like 20% of it was old and then 80% of it was new. Doing all the designs took about 2.5 to 3 weeks, but I could have been a lot faster. I wasted some days on stuff that I didn't have to waste on. Like, I was doing stuff on VGen, but I did get comms. Like, I was doing business stuff. I just wasn't always doing Toronto Game Expo prep. but I will say I'm happy with what I brought to Toronto Game Expo. So in hindsight, I'm really not that upset. Starting 1 week before the con was basically all setup, printing, manufacturing, kind of like dealing with the booth, getting the booth kind of set up and going. And this was the crunchiest time during the entire con prep process. I got about 6 to 7 hours of sleep every night. And leading up to the con, the night before the con, I got 2 hours of sleep. There was just so much to do. I got new panels for the booth. The booth was kind of an on and off process during the week where I kind of like came back to it, you know, like looked at references, thought about it, changed some things around. It was a constant work in progress for about a week, and I think it really showed because people were very surprised that it was my first con, and I'm really proud of my booth setup, so ball. I had to go and get a booth runner, like the tablecloth, stuff for the prints. I had to get magnets to put it up because now that I was using like the plastic panels, there was no way for me to easily put up my prints and stuff. All the signage, all the catalog, printing, dealing with new cutting mats, storage for bringing the merchandise to and from the con. Like I had to get some, like, I don't have them on me, but I had to get like little like divided containers that I could put the merchandise in to easily store it. I had to get a few more like of the small bags for the stickers because I ran out during my shop time. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the actual con itself. Yippee, we're 20 minutes in. I live about an hour away from Pixel, and I live about, like, because of, like, where Pixel is, we're about an hour away from the convention. If I had just driven to the convention myself, it would have taken less time, but I gotta go grab my booth partner. So I picked up my booth partner. I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And I showered, and I made turkey sandwiches, and essentially I packed everything up that night, which is why I stayed up so late. That way in the morning, all I had to do was shower, put on my coordinate, do the sandwiches, and then just put everything in the car. It was a relatively easy morning. I wouldn't, you know, aside from the fact that I had gotten 2 hours of sleep, it went pretty good. Something I will say also, I got into Lolita this year. I've been into Lolita for a very, very long time, but I could never afford it in my EGL era. And something that I'd always dreamed of was doing both at the same time. If I was going to booth, I wanted to be wearing a coordinate. I don't know why. I've just wanted to do this for like 5 years. So I did that, and I wore my pink birthday cord to day one of Toronto Game Expo. So many people really liked my dress, and it was really, really fun. Yeah, so I picked up Pixel that morning, took about 50 minutes to get to them. The drive was good because it was a Saturday morning, and no one really wanted to go downtown Toronto on a Saturday morning. The Gardner was actually fast for once. Who could believe it? The Gardner was fast. No way. Since we both live close to the con, I just drove both days. I did not want to pay for a hotel. I just didn't want to. In terms of inventory, I actually probably should have looked this up, but I based my inventory numbers based on Toronto Roca. So I brought about 10 to 12 of each design, and that served me well, though I could have gone on the lower side for some things, but I'm not really going to complain too much. My big issue was just the amount of B grades and the test prints that I had. If I had just gotten the 10 amount per design and didn't have to deal with all of the test prints and the B grades that I had been slowly building up during the course of the con prep, it would have been completely fine. But because I'm home manufacturing, I just get a lot of that extra crap, and it felt like I made way too much. This was barely avoidable, but it gave me the option to offer B grades at my booth. And the way that I had my booth set up, I had my B grades kind of at the front, and then I had a cube at the back where the sticker designs were placed on like the little like display riser. And that meant that anyone who wanted to steal from my booth, they stole my B grades because that's what's easily accessible. And they would have to really kind of reach to grab the sticker designs. This didn't deter any actual buyers from like, you know, kind of peering in, looking at the stickers, right? You can totally touch them. I should probably like have a sign being like, you know, you can self-serve the stickers, you can touch them, it's fine. So at least that deterred thieves from only taking my B grades. And I also just offered like designs that, you know, maybe people were into but didn't want to pay full price for. And it was just a way for me to get rid of them. So I think that worked really well. So I was a little bit late setting up because I'm new to these things and I'm meticulous. So by 10:20 I was done. VIPs came in at about 10 o'clock. That was when the VIP entrance opened, and at 11 a.m. that's when the con officially starts. As discussed, I wore my pink birthday cord. That was actually the first time that I wore it out of the house, so that was really fun. I didn't get a sale, and from the other con vlogs that I've seen of various other cons, not just Toronto Game Expo, mostly because I don't think that many people make con vlogs about Toronto Game Expo, I didn't get a sale until like noon on the dot. So what I did, I dropped it. I have a notebook, and this has all of my sales, every single one. It has what they bought, how many, how much it was, and the time and the method of payment. So my first sale came at 12 o'clock on the dot, and it was 2 On My Way stickers and 1 small squid scissors print, and that was $19. Actually a really good first sale. And the rest of the sales, I got quite a few during the first half an hour. No, quite a few during the first hour. 12 o'clock I got 1, 12:04 I got another 1, 2 stickers. I got the full Toronto, someone got the full Toronto Roca set and a small off the hook print. It was between 12:04 and 12:33. 12:33 someone bought 1 sticker, 12:34 someone bought 1 other sticker, 12:37 someone bought 1 sticker, 2 stickers, 12:36, and then now we're into 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock someone bought the full main 6 set. At 1:35, 2 stickers, 1:45, 5 stickers, 1:50, main 6 set again. 2 o'clock, 2 stickers, 2:11, sticker sheet, 2:30, medium print, 2:45, print and a bunch of stickers, 2:49, 2 stickers, 3:03, 2 stickers. I had another rush about 3 o'clock, so I'd say 12 and 3 o'clock were my best times. 2 B grades and 1 sticker, 3:03, 3:05, digital circus set, print and 2 stickers, 3:07. Someone bought my Genevieve print, which was crazy, at 3:15. Oh my god. Oh, okay. 2 stickers, 3:22, 1 sticker, 3:37, small print, 3:57, and then I didn't get a single sale from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock I got 1 sticker sale, 2 sticker sale, 5:03, 2 medium prints, 5:06, 4 B grades, 5:10, 1 sticker sometime between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, 3 B grades, and then after that I went out and bought some stuff, and then 5 o'clock my final sale was at 5:53, and I didn't get a single sale from 5:53 until the end of the con. Or sorry, till the end of Saturday. And then I'm just going to finish off with Sunday, and then I have a lot to say about the people that visited my booth, which I have nothing but positive things to say, except the people that sold. Sunday, I actually got a sale before 12, so people were definitely buying a little bit earlier on Sunday. I think this was because people who were walking around on Saturday decided what they wanted to get Sunday morning. So I got 2 sticker sales at 10:30 in the morning on Sunday, another sticker sale at 10:45, I got another sticker sale at 11:29, and then from 11:29 until 1 o'clock I didn't get a single sale. I'm assuming because people were hungry. Print sale at 1:10, 2 stickers, 1:20, 3 stickers, 1:45, 2 stickers and 4 B grades, 1:59, Urbane print at 2:05, 2 stickers, 2:20, 1 sticker, I don't have a time here, digital circus set at 2:47, 3 o'clock, 4 stickers, and at 4 o'clock, the convention finished. I'm just going to talk about numbers really quick. So in terms of sales, I sold 94 stickers, 1 sticker sheet, 1 charm, 7 medium prints, and 6 small prints. So stickers by far sold the best out of every single thing, but I will say that is not the sole reason that anyone came to my booth. I had a foam board like cutout of Genevieve, my OC, and she helped kind of bring in people, and I would say my prints definitely were eye-catching just because of the way that they were placed, and that also helped bring people into my booth, but that didn't necessarily equate to sales like of the prints, but it equated to sales of other things, because the prints will indicate kind of other media that I will draw, and also, you know, whether or not someone likes the way that I draw. And that really helped bring in people. I would say if for example, I didn't have any prints at all, I definitely would have sold significantly less stickers, because those are what's like a huge item that people are going to see at your booth without having to be like, just to see what you have. So they're very, very useful to have even if you only have a few. Honestly, every single thing that I offered at TJE, I will continue to offer. And I would say the only other thing that I might want to add is I definitely want to add books, like art books. I really, really, really love art books, and I know they sell well, and which is good because I buy them. And also rubber charms / pillow charms, but we're good with that. So in terms of overall sales, I made $530. The booth cost was, I believe, it was like 282 with tax, and then you could divide that. It was like about 140 each. And then I spent a bit in startup costs for like booth investments. And then I'm personally not including any booth costs in terms of like panels or stuff like that, because that's not a specific TJE investment. That's an investment for cons overall. So when it comes to detracting from the amount that I made, I'm not including that. That's an investment that's a business investment. It's not a TJE investment, a TGE investment. The booth cost, the raw booth cost, and my materials and any merch that I purchased from a manufacturer would count. So the charms were $150. I sold one. And the sticker paper, I want to say probably 80, including the laminate on the high end. Oh, and the print paper, so probably about $100 there. So my goal for TGE was 400 because I knew that I would make profit, but I ended up getting over 5, and I was really happy with that. I think that I can 100% do better, but I think that's also indicative that I can succeed and I can do well, and I'm really happy with that. If I hadn't made that much, I still would have considered TGE a success. So let me just tie up loose ends here. I talked about what I wanted. Oh, Pixel attends TGE every year as a VIP, so she had some insight on the traffic, which really helped me manage reality. I know some people for their first con get really nervous that they didn't sell anything until 1 p.m. It's normal. Loadout on Saturday was kind of painful, so I didn't get home until 10:30 p.m. on Saturday, and the con ended at 7, so I only got 7 hours of sleep that night. Better than 2, but I was really starting to feel it that next morning. Parking was 16 Canadian dollars for both days, by the way, and I didn't really like the parking on offer. They made you walk all the way across from the C&E Fairgrounds. I was not a fan of the parking. Sunday was only about 45% as busy as Saturday. You can definitely tell it dropped off, but the people that I met were just as amazing. Oh, on Sunday I wore a black and white cord. I got to trade with quite a few people, and I met that fellow Lolita. I made about 50% of Saturday's sales, give or take, in raw sales. Yeah, okay. So that round up pretty much everything in my book. So now I'm going to talk about my specific experiences, because I met some really incredible people at Toronto Game Expo, and where do I even start? Okay, I'm just gonna go with what I remember off the top of my head. So basically anyone that came to my booth, this is how I usually treat them. If I don't have anything to say to you, I'm not gonna say anything. If you don't look like if you just look like you're browsing, I'm gonna leave you alone. If you come within a certain distance of my booth, like as in like you're kind of like peering in like to look at the stickers, I'm gonna say hi to you. Anyone casually browsing, I'm gonna say nothing. I'm gonna give you space. If there's something cool that I can say about you, to which I will often do because I like talking to people, I will say something. Like, for example, if you got a cool cosplay, I'm gonna say that's sick, that's awesome. Those are my thoughts on my first convention. Going forward, I'm continuing to work on my business. Right now, I have Barrie Game Exchange lined up at the end of April. I also have quite a few commissions that I need to finish up. Well, I just start them. And then I currently have no other cons booked. I'm hoping to get into Anna Revo. I'm trying to apply to Pretty Heroes. I would like to continue expanding my catalog. I would like to continue working on my work and myself and getting my things out there. I'm switching to Big Cartel, as you'll see from my business card. I bought 100 business cards and I have 52 left. So after the state of the convention, almost half of my business cards were taken, which was really, really cool. There was multiple times where I had to restock my business cards, and I was like really happy, and a lot of people like them because I think they're cute. But yeah, switching to Big Cartel because Shopify's too expensive. Shouldn't even have been on it in the first place. Getting my stuff on Etsy so that I can sell to international people during this time where I still don't have time to figure out international VAT stuff. So Etsy is an option for all those international folks. Big Cartel will be for domestic and USA orders. So yeah, I'm still working. I'm still still doing stuff. And yeah, those are all my thoughts. So thank you very much for watching if you made it this far. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Oh yeah, I'm pre-booking for TJE 2026 winter also. And if you know of any conventions around the Toronto area, tell me. I'm building a database.